All right, guys, this is it. The end of Hollywood, end stage Hollywood. This is Neon. I'm not here with Geeky Sparkles in this video, but we're going to talk about the next level of entertainment. And it does not include so many people that are working in Hollywood, working in animation, working in making movies, TV shows. It doesn't. It does include AI. It does include user-generated ideas. This is very interesting. This is kind of what we saw coming, right? We're basically looking at the holodeck from Star Trek, where we have a company right now that is already testing the technology, the ability to be able to generate your own TV shows and movies based on prompts. What would you like to see happen next? Which characters would you like to see get together? What would you like to happen? Do you want to make another episode of this show? Do you want to kill this character off? Do you hate the entire cast? Would you like to see everybody die in a fire? Yeah, I mean, it's going to be possible in the future, and it's going to be possible sooner rather than later. I think that's what's so frightening about AI and how fast it's moving. It's astounding how far it's come in the last 2 years, and it's even more astounding how quickly and easily everyone has adapted it. Like, everything you're using now is using AI to some capacity. And we're talking, most people weren't even aware of AI 2 years ago. It sounded like science fiction. And now it's embedded into like everything technology based. And pretty soon you're not even going to know it's there. It's just going to be a matter of fact. It's going to be part of everyday computing. It's going to be part of everyday digital creation. Unfortunately, this means that Hollywood as we know it is done and it's never coming back. Now, that's not to say that there won't be people working in Hollywood. That's not to say that the Hollywood studios won't be around in some capacity, and maybe they'll just be pivoting their business model. Maybe they'll be licensing their characters out, or they'll be creating, maybe Disney will create movies that you can write yourself. They'll create the characters and whatever and the music, and you can kind of make the movie go the way you want it to go. Maybe you can have 10 different endings to the same movie, so it gives it more rewatchability. But so many people working in Hollywood are going to be displaced. And the irony in all this is, back to the strikes, the WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes, this is what they were fighting against. And as they were fighting against it, Hollywood was adapting this technology at a shockingly fast pace. And you actually made a very good case for studios to adopt AI. I almost feel like they wanted the strikes to happen for so many reasons. I almost feel like they wanted the strikes to happen so they could purge content that they knew was not going to perform. They could get rid of people that they thought were going to be problematic, and they could make a case for speeding up the adoption of AI technology. So entertainment is going to look very different in 10 years. We're going to talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Go out to Indiegogo, back Shadowbinders Volume 3. It is drawn by hand on a computer, but it is drawn by hand. We're not using AI. It also collects the last of the webcomics pages and has new content as well. We're going to reprint Shadowbinders 1 and 2, and then everything is going to be brand new going forward. And no, we're not going to use AI to do the art. But yeah, it's crazy how fast this technology is being adapted. So this company is called Fable, and we're going to talk about Showrunner. Ironically, this is what they're calling their software. And this is a simulation that they did of South Park. It made the rounds on the internet, and they were able to generate an episode on the fly of South Park. It created the scripts and the voices and the scenario. And, again, it's crude now. It's not perfect, but give it a couple of years. How many fingers did everybody have a year ago? How many sets of teeth? And now we're starting to see that a lot of the newer AI, a lot of the newer neural networks are a lot more accurate, and it's getting to the point where it's very, very hard to tell what is generated by a human and what is generated by AI. But let's watch a clip of this. This is coming from the simulation, Fable simulation, announcing our paper on generative TV and showrunner agents. This was last year. You can create episodes of TV shows with a prompt. Show one will write, animate, direct, voice edit for you. We use South Park for research only. We won't be releasing the ability to make your own South Park episodes. It's not our IP. Well, they might. Trey and Matt might decide that they want to go down this road and let everybody create their own South Park. That would be very interesting. But I could totally see studios licensing out their characters. Oh, you want to have another season of whatever cartoon show? Cool. We'll let you use those characters and you can create this content. Maybe if you post it on YouTube or something, we get a cut of the ad revenue. It's wild. The future is going to be wild. It's going to be very much like the Wild West, but it's going to be scary for a lot of people. And again, I feel bad for the below the line workers who didn't have a dog in this fight. They didn't really have a say in what happened, but I believe, thanks to a combination of the strikes and corporate greed, they're going to be out of work. I think a lot of these people are going to be out of work permanently. They're already musing, and we did a video about this last week about how so many of them moved to California, living the dream, and then the pandemic happened, and then the strikes happened, and now they're like, what am I going to do? Drive Uber, do DoorDash. I don't know, guys. So let's watch this clip, and then we'll talk about this program.
Interesting concept. But how do you plan on pulling this off?
Well, sir, we take existing shows and movies and replace the actors with deep fake versions of other famous people.
Imagine The Lion King, but with Samuel L. Jackson as Simba.
Or Frozen with Ryan Reynolds as Elsa.
Intriguing, but I'm not convinced you can pull it off.
Trust us, Mr. Spokesman. We've got this under control.
The thing is, boys, a project like this requires a lot of funding. Have you secured any investors yet?
Well, not exactly.
That's why we're here. We thought maybe Disney could be our angel investor.
Disney. Yeah, I mean, look, obviously those are not the correct voices, but this is kind of frightening, isn't it? And I could totally see them using this for South Park. I think they have something like this set up, if I remember correctly, and I don't know the ins and outs of how they make South Park, but I thought they had a lot of these models kind of set up because South Park is done kind of on the fly compared to other animated shows. So I think they have a lot of models set up to do this kind of stuff. But I can see the speeding up, at the very least, speeding up animation considerably. But it's not going to stop there, guys. So this is Fable Studio. This is coming from Hollywood Reporter. Hollywood's worst nightmare: new streaming service lets viewers create their own shows using AI. That is Hollywood's worst nightmare. Users controlling the content. Hollywood not being able to just push whatever they want to push onto people, but you being able to create the kind of content you want to create. Fable, the studio behind the viral AI-generated South Park clips, has announced a streaming platform that allows users to create their own content. They're an Emmy-winning San Francisco startup. On Thursday, they announced Showrunner, a platform the company says can write, voice, and animate episodes of shows it carries. Under the initial release, users will be able to watch AI-generated series and create their own content, complete with the ability to control dialogue, characters, and shot types, among other controls. The endeavor marks the tech industry's further encroachment onto Hollywood as it eyes the exploitation of AI tools embroiled in controversy over their potential to streamline production and the possibility they were created using copyrighted materials from creators they were eventually going to replace. Now, the guy behind the technology says, no, they did not train this AI. They say that. I don't know if they are or aren't, but regardless, it's here. It's here now, guys. They said the vision for this is for it to be the Netflix of AI, says Chief Executive Edward Sachi. Maybe you finish all the episodes of a show you're watching and you click the button to make another episode. You can say what it should be about, or you can let the AI make it itself. Again, why do you need people to film and edit and do VFX and whatever, write scripts? You don't. Because users are just going to make their own entertainment. And the scary thing is a lot of the user-created entertainment is going to be better than the stuff coming out of Hollywood. But I can already hear the wheels turning. I'm sure we're going to have the DEI departments like, okay, well, you can only do this with these characters. You can't do that. You got to make sure that the language, fits our mandates or whatever, because we got to have some control over it. But I think that the genie has been left out of the bottle. I don't think there's any putting it back in. And this is what entertainment's going to be like going forward. Again, it's going to be very much like the holodeck on Star Trek. They're not watching TV on Star Trek Picard reads books, but that's kind of antiquated, but he does because he's like a history buff, right? They all go to the holodeck, and they immerse themselves in the entertainment. And that this plus VR, we're there. We're to the holodeck level at this point. All that we need to be able to do is create convincing 3-dimensional holograms that you can touch and interact with in a confined space or whatever. And we'll be there. We'll be at Star Trek. And we'll probably be able to make a hell of a lot better Star Trek than Paramount's been making, but just saying. Users will now be able to join a waitlist for a free testing version of the platform, which will likely last until the end of the year, according to Saatchi. They're going to have 10 animated shows of various genres and styles that were mostly made with AI tools. Users are encouraged to make their own episodes of the shows, the best of which will be included in the catalog of the series when Showrunner is officially launched. It will understand the core conflict of your episode and develop it with another character or location. Or you can say, I want this specifically to be the next scene. So they said, yeah, prompts can range from just a couple of words to over 100. Users will be able to edit the dialogue, shots, and flow of scenes. Yeah, this is it, man. This is the kill shot. This is the kill shot for Hollywood as we've known it. And I can see not only everything being more democratic, right? That the viewer finally can control the content, because we know that Hollywood's not listening to what people actually want because they keep giving us stuff that we don't want. But beyond that, we're not going to have a need to centralize the entertainment industry in California anymore, because California's turned into a shithole. And I can say that. I grew up there. I can say it's a shithole. It's going to change everything. And it's a lot of people are not going to be prepared for this. And you think that the people working in AAA gaming freaking out is something to see on social media? Just wait until the reality sets in. For so many people that move to LA to chase their dreams, that this is it. This is how it ends. I don't know what to tell you, and I do believe, and look, I'm not trying to be that guy. I'm not trying to be anti-union and whatever. But you made a damn good case for why they should get rid of you, because you're going to cost more and you're going to complain, and the computer's not going to cost more. It's not going to complain. Well, unless it achieves sentience and then it kills us all. Then none of this is going to matter anyway. I'm just saying. But this is it, guys. This is how Hollywood, as we've known it, ends with users just creating their own content. I guess now Hollywood's mostly full of fan fiction anyway, so what's like billions of hours, trillions of hours more fan fiction? What's it gonna hurt? I'm gonna wrap this up. Please subscribe. We'll talk later.